It's getting absolutely nuts, and you know that. I hate to point out the obvious, but I'm going to give you an example. And from there, you and I can build out our lives, everything you encounter on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour basis, and everything that scrolls across my screen. It's just getting more insane. It's getting less persuasive and therefore a little bit like a knife who's lost its edge, but it hasn't gotten any less insane. Let me just give you Disney-owned ABC's popular syndicated television series for decades on run. Let me just give you yesterday from The View.
All of you. He's talking about you. It's us. He's not going to, say, oh, you're with a white guy. I'm going to keep you from being deported. No, he's going to deport you and put the white guy with someone else. The man is out there.
So that's Whoopi Goldberg suggesting that should Donald Trump become president, he's going to break up interracial marriages, deport your spouse, and force you to marry a white guy. I'm serious. It's delivered with seriousness, passion. I mean, she's suggesting, despite the fact that you and I, and we all have lived through 4 years of a presidency of Donald Trump, which should just sort of be, it should just sort of give us all the ability to laugh at this in America. This is what is brought out. This is what is, forget allowed. This is what is highly compensated media in 2024. And it's not just that. I mean, I don't know how many contracts my former colleague at ESPN, Jamel Hill, has scored so far from big corporate media, but I believe the latest is from TNT. And no sooner did she score what I'm sure is a 7-figure contract than she tweeted out this weekend, blaming America's problems on white guys. She said, considering what they said about you as a woman driver and what Trump stands for against women, this is unhinged behavior, but good luck. Also, this is why people do not trust white women in this election. Actually, that's her going after Danica Patrick and white women. It's just the icing on the cake because she also tweeted this weekend that literally America's problem is white men. She has no problem expanding any critique of an individual or America into one particular ethnic group. Just open. I mean, really unrebuttable racism. The only way that someone could even get away with making a argument that it's not racism to say it's impossible to be racist against white people. But I guess that's the viewpoint of TNT. Warner Brothers owns TNT. I don't know. I can't believe this is where we are again in 2024. Well, Jeff Bezos, the owner of the Washington Post, seems to have all of a sudden, I don't know, decided he doesn't want to take part in the insanity. Washington Post declined to endorse Kamala Harris. That's led to multiple resignations on the editorial board, open mutiny within the Washington Post. So the owner takes to the pages, and Jeff Bezos writes an article about why he doesn't think the Post should be endorsing any presidential candidate. But in the article, he talks about, let's be real for a moment, because he says, in a really, I think, great line, reality is undefeated. So let's be real. America doesn't trust us. They don't trust the media. And the polls are well known. Anyone can see the polls and what they have to say. I think as an institution, as an industry, the approval ratings are under 20%, in the range of 20%. Trust and credibility. So Bezos says, lack of credibility isn't unique to the Post. Our brethren newspapers have the same issue. And it's a problem not only for media, but also for the nation. Many people are turning to off-the-cuff podcasts, inaccurate social media posts, and other unverified news sources, which can quickly spread misinformation and deepen divisions. The Washington Post and the New York Times win prizes, but increasingly, we talk only to a certain elite, and more, we talk to ourselves. He says, I will not allow this paper to stay on autopilot and fade into irrelevance, overtaken by unresearched podcasts and social media barbs. Not without a fight. It's too important. There are suggestions that Bezos will expand the ideological spectrum of the Washington Post. We'll find out if that's true. But I do ask you, I am curious, what's your port in the storm? We're 2 weeks out. We're less than that. We're a little over a week out from an election, right? And it doesn't get any more insane than it does right now. Like, if there was something reported today, forget skepticism. I think it's well-earned cynicism. At this point, even a video, I don't know, in the age of AI, everything is insane and everywhere is everything all at once. So what is your port in the storm? Where do you go? I'd like to think here, although you know I have a point of view and you have some bias, I have some bias. We all have bias for that matter, but at least there's an honest effort at attempt to arrive at the truth. But this is one show. Where do you go? It's necessary because I do think Bezos is right. We have to be able to analyze and see and understand reality because reality is undefeated. Oh, there's short-term victories. There's short-term victories in Never Never Land. But ultimately, reality is undefeated. So where do we go anymore to understand, to see someone accurately described, to do their best to be true in reality? I don't even think anyone's trying. I don't think anyone even really cares because, hey, I'm not sure there's business in reality. I'd love to know. Right there. Comment section. Will Cain Show. What's your port in the storm?